Hello everyone, this is Lex from DeadGentry Collectables on Etsy and eBay. I have some footage here from the Sacramento Antique Mall, 57th Street Antiques. Very large antique mall. Had to do a voiceover because of the radio in the background. So obviously can't upload all of that music without violations to YouTube. So the video will be a voiceover, but I will try to give a lot of information on everything we looked at here. A lot of beautiful just vintage and antique glass here and some brilliant cut crystal as well. And then here's so many silver belt buckles and watches. I do slow down and I will go over specific pieces and items. But in the beginning, I was just filming all the booths in the front of this store. And as you can see, unfortunately, my screen was locked. So the footage is a bit truncated, but I think it's still enjoyable. We walked around for quite a while, and there's a lot to learn here. So some beautiful Russian raccoon there by the Lomonosov Porcelain Factory of St. Petersburg, that black and white ferret as well. Beautiful MCM California pottery animal figurine pieces here. A whole booth of Elvis. Just a beautiful booth. So much nostalgic Elvis. And more pottery here. Really lovely. A Moriage vase there. And Mount Rushmore ceramic as well. Korok tray there. Beautiful antique green velvet. St. Louis style, but a more contemporary back finish on that chair. Some lovely, I love these. These are contemporary, more modern dragon figurines. Very often from gift warehouses, but some of them incredibly well made. Very fun if you're into fantasy. Little tiny piece of green Wedgwood on that shelf. Curious George, can't miss that. Very fun and playful Mardi Gras posters and prints. Someone took the time to collect. Just a beautiful antique mall. So well done. Every space carpeted. Some great red and gold 1960s ceramic plates on a stand there. There was just so much to look at. Lovely wooden fruit. Oh, beautiful deviled egg dish. Spode Christmas plates, copper mule cups for the bar. Just an endless array. Now this piece was interesting. Made in Romania by the company GMG, and that price, very valid. They range from $50 to $65. Beautiful crystal thistle plaque here by Edinburgh Crystal from Scotland, 1867 to 2006. And then some beautiful cobalt blue and gold Italian barware from the early 1900s there with a hand-painted and applied glass. Lovely. There's a piece of Fenton, that thumbprint ruffle, very ruby red. Some more contemporary pieces. Contemporary art glass sculpture there. That iridescent piece looks like an oil slick, very nicely done. Another contemporary paperweight here. Sanrio Hello Kitty, highly collectible. A lot of people collect those. So much to look at in this antique mall. Just absolutely amazing. Beautiful cranberry swirl Fenton there. Very striking. $200 plus on a set like that. Some brilliant cut crystal. Cute little teapot, a piece of jade. I'm hoping a video like this helps give everyone an idea of fine goods, what to look for, and also the names, makers, and values of some of these pieces. Cut to clear crystal here in blue, green, and red, even that very dark, desirable, almost black, plum purple. A little piece of Fenton Amarina feet going on there. Very pretty. So again, hopefully gives you an idea of what people purchase and some of those range of values. Indiana Glass Company Harvest Grape iridescent pitcher there. $30 to $50 on those generally. More desirable, higher value if you have the glasses and can sell the whole set together. Tierra Exclusives original paper sticker there. Did you see it? 1976 black glass pepper shaker. No salt, but black glass, very sought after by collectors looking to piece together an entire dinner service. Went ahead and included a slide for you to get an idea of what those 1970s black glass pieces can look like. Very cool to see that original paper sticker from Tierra Glass Exclusives. I was in love with this little owl. I might go back and purchase that for myself. I do not think it's nearly as old as suggested on the tag, but I don't care. I found it very charming. Very often you will see a lot of MCM, mid-century modern, and desert rose type plates and patterns that someone's collected. Some travel mugs, silver, more glass. A lovely piece of Wedgwood here, Wedgwood ashtray in immaculate condition. Love to see them maintain that well with no damage at all. Absolutely stunning piece of Westmoreland Doric lace, that reticulated blue glass bowl. Lovely Jim Shore deer there. Absolutely beautiful. More of that desert rose. Lovely glass lamp. William's bright red shoes. I did get a little bit distracted. Copper Guildsmiths. So multiple copper bowls on their original stand. And this was me getting distracted. There was so much beautiful furniture. I don't want to go into too much depth on the furniture because there's so much of it. That beautiful hutch from early San Francisco, but in the punched tin. But furniture, I could just endlessly go on about it. You could see I was getting distracted by all the beautiful finishes and knobs and finial work in the wood. A lot of hand carved wood here. Really stunning. Absolutely beautiful. Notice the egg. I'm going to put a slide in here to talk about this egg. So this egg retails for about $30. And this is something to watch out for in antique shops. You see they had it there as a vintage piece for $50. It is a music box. It's created by a company known Orlov in New York. It's actually a contemporary piece made to look old, and that doesn't mean it doesn't have value. It does. It's a beautiful enamel piece, has this beautiful bowl. It's a trinket box and a music box, but it isn't a $50 vintage, say, Fabergé. I went back to that lovely hutch to look at the finishes again. Just really stunning. There was a lot of lovely stained glass in this booth, as you can see. I took a moment to film that. A really wonderful collection for people to choose from. There's that copper gilt stand again, just really stunning. Another piece of Sanrio, Hello Kitty there, more contemporary but collectible. Some great cookie jars and piggy banks, a very contemporary Halloween piece. These were scattered through the store. Someone took the time to make those for the holiday. It was very pleasant that they had decorated in that way, and then also were selling these pieces for not very much because they aren't antiques, but they were adorable. And more glass here, marbles. If you're a fan of marbles, you're probably looking at these jars and seeing all your favorite things. So not a great way to actually store marbles, unfortunately. Can create damage over time. The weight of the glass pressing against other glass. And they're all kind of jammed together. Whole jar of Wade Whimsies there as well. Really kind of a shame to see them stored in that way. But I understand it's fun. It's like buy the whole jar, see what you could get. And some of these mason jars full of marbles had handmade stone marbles, very early pieces. But be careful of this. This can cause a lot of damage to your collectibles. More beautiful glass. Just everywhere you looked in this antique mall, there was any color of glass that you needed to add as an accent to your home. They were going to have shelves of it. And I think this was right before I found there was actually some Snap-on tools barware, which does exist. Very desirable. You can get as much as $20 a glass or more for a set. They're silver and they say Snap-on tools. There they are. Did you see them down there? I went past them really quickly, but again, something not a lot of people know about. Very fun piece for barware, especially for things like men's caves and garages and that sort of a thing. I did try at points to give an idea of some great books. Keep an eye out. Some books can be very valuable. I did try to take the time to capture a lot of the tags with informations and values in this video, so hopefully that helps. Here's some beautiful Libby bamboo and gold glassware. These can go for as much as $24 a piece. So $75 less than $80. Wonderful value. I think they had maybe 10 or 8 of them there. So well below retail on that. People look for those. They are just charming, filled with iced tea. Just let your eyes feast while I go over the lamps and the beautiful ice buckets. So many shelves here of so many beautiful things. That is a Venetian glass, an urn vase with applied clear glass and a roping style to the exterior. Lovely Czech and Bohemian cut to clear crystal. More glass everywhere. Nice MCM silver teapot up there for a moment. Here we have a case just full of antiques. Marbles in their original box. More vintage than antique on those. Some beautiful pocket knives. Bolo ties. Bolo ties, again, some of them made with precious metals, semi-precious stonework. Can be very valuable, especially older pieces and handmade Navajo Nation pieces as well. Something to keep an eye out for. I love the little Mickey Mouse game there mixed in with all of this beautiful jewelry. Almost Edwardian silver stand with the cut to clear ruby glass there in the background. Football memorabilia, belt buckles. Again, precious books in the case, locked away so that they don't get handled. Very smart. When it comes to books, you really don't want people handling them unless they are actually interested in buying them and need to check the quality of the piece. Say like the strength of the spine. Starbucks mugs, location mugs, city mugs, different country mugs, collectible. Can be very valuable. Contemporary and yet in the antique mall for their value. Lovely little inlay puzzle box back there. Nautilus shell fossil. Perfume bottles. Some more beautiful cut to clear with the ruby cutaway. A sundae ice cream service, likely Parisian with that very light green glass. Another Romanian contemporary ice bucket. Apparently there were a few of these that day in the antique mall and they were beautiful. If, by the way, you happen to see anything in this video you simply have to have and you're viewing the video within a few days of when we were there, a few weeks or months, you could always drop us a message on Etsy, eBay, Facebook. We're more than happy to go back and see if it's still there to purchase and then ship forward to you. That would be one of our finder's fee services. We charge 5%, which is less than a nominal auction bidder's fee would take. I was fascinated by this piece of submerso iridescent. It was tucked in a back corner there. That beautiful piece of glass. I could not get a good angle with the camera. Coins, valuable rings, semi-precious stone rings, perfume bottles, sometimes with the perfume still there. And let me pause there. Did you see the Tuareg Berber talisman? So a talisman like that, it's that silver piece with the darker color inside, from Africa, especially Islamic Africa. They do have value. It's something odd that most people wouldn't know to look for. I would say with a piece like that, because of its historic cultural value, there it is again. That's the sort of thing William and I will actually often forward on to a museum rather than resell. But a beautiful piece that most people wouldn't recognize on site. Beautiful pottery again. Another splendid piece of Wedgwood there, that beautiful coffee service. Again, trying to get that tag for everyone so that you can read what's in the video, maybe get an idea of what some of these things are and what people value them at. Amazing punch bowl service. Probably one of the nicest I've ever seen on public display for public sale and not at auction. Some beautiful lamp work, that blown style of off-rod glass. I love the shell form pieces as well. I have a few. More belt buckles here. Really slowed down and started taking the time to film some of these labels. So if you need to, or if you want to, I would definitely suggest pause the video, really look at these items, look at who their manufacturers are. Mary Gregory jam jar here, beautiful. Look at the price. A lot of these evaluations are pretty dead on or a little less than what you could get at auction. Orphan Annie can be collectible. And this is how you learn, whether you're a collector or reseller, or maybe you're looking for new things that you haven't seen before to take an interest in. Pause the video, take a look at those labels. Heirloom pattern, Indiana Glasgow here rather than the harvest grape on that beautiful picture. A little piece of a ruffled Fenton. Cased glass, pink inside, white external. I love that scallop fringe on that piece with the hand-painted decorations on the exterior. When William and I started collecting, I'm right back to that Wedgwood. I am in adoration of Wedgwood. I will go back to the same Wedgwood pieces over and over again just to stare at them, especially when they're in such a lovely condition. You can really appreciate that someone took the time to do that and keep and well maintain them. This is a vintage Jaws mask. Known as Bruce the Shark from Trick or Treat Studios, these retail for about $50. There is a more contemporary version of this same mask, so watch out for that. It tends to have a lighter pink in mouth and not quite as much detail. A dam troll, DAM, very early dam troll. Good evaluation on that piece. I was checking the tag to see if they had it as dam rather than Russell. Nice to see them use that original maker's name because it is one of the older, larger pieces. I'm still looking at it. Pins can be very collectible. Disney vintage. And there were some beautiful snow globes in this case. Disney snow globes can go for hundreds of dollars. So you might think some of the tags on these, some of the evaluations on these pieces, what is being asked for seems high. It really isn't. These will go for this much or more, especially a very dynamic piece like you saw there with Maleficent and then that large black gargoyle in the background. Who Framed Roger Rabbit here, Snow White. Very sought after snow globes, especially when they're not cloudy and they're not damaged. This is sort of like shopping with us. Like, come shopping with us while I wander around an antique mall and film everything for an hour. Of course, we did receive the permission of the proprietors to go ahead and do this. Always ask permission. That's how William and I feel about it. Whenever we film, we always ask permission first. There's no reason not to. Most people are happy to have someone enjoy it and possibly give them free marketing by putting something online. Again, this antique mall is in Sacramento, 57th Street Antiques. I found it odd while we were walking around that there weren't more toys and comic books. And what that tells me is that there's a few, see, there was a shelf of some dolls there, is that they are desirable because what's happening here is there's a very small shelf of comic books down there as well. Lovely little vintage elves, likely Macy's Ceramics giveaways. They did do that as early as 1940, I believe 1950. So some great tarot card decks, very old tarot card decks can be valuable. Anything to do with the occult can have a high value to certain collectors. And a lovely vintage deck like that absolutely is going to have a value, something to keep an eye out for. But as I was saying, when you don't see as many toys and comics filling the shelves or those shelves seem empty, it's because people are purchasing them for the asking prices. And the booth sourcer, the person collecting these items for sale, can't keep up with demand. So that can actually tell you very often when you can't find things to buy in certain categories that they are doing very well, that they are highly sought after. I remembered Xena from my childhood. I couldn't help myself. I found that adorable to see the old Xena comic. Old now, not old when I was younger. There was also a Hercules series at that time. So not that many vintage toys, not that much Star Wars, not that many comic books. Hard to find, desirable, and people are buying them in this area, so they're hard to keep on the shelves. We also didn't see a lot of multicolored Fenton. A lot of iridescent carnival, and a lot of single hued Fenton pieces, but not as many multicolored detailed pieces as we would have hoped to find, which again tells us that if they're making it to the shelves, they're getting snapped up very quickly, which is what we see in our own retail stores online as well, on eBay and Etsy. I noticed as I was filming there that there's a little maybe not age appropriate material. So I was trying to quickly move the camera away. I didn't see it until too late, but I think it's only a second or two. So hopefully nothing to get us barred from YouTube there. Adult magazines, oddly enough, older adult magazines can have value as collectibles. Now this plate was so absolutely stunning, and I have not seen many examples of this. It's one of those pieces that I imagine you could find more often, this very large, almost Moroccan, like couscous server for very large rice dishes. Obviously, this is a decorative piece, not really meant for use and service, but you don't see too many of them that beautiful outside of Turkey. They're not that high quality, isn't usually sold as a tourist piece and doesn't usually make it into other countries for resale. So I just found it to be very, very beautiful. More lovely money clips, bolo ties, compacts, tobacco cases, rolled cigarette cases. All of these small metal artifacts can have a very real value. Stratton compacts, if you're into British collectibles, European collectibles. Precious Moments figurines. Pieces like that, Mr. Peanut, it's so funny. When you're looking at precious moments, you want to make sure they're authentic, and also the more dynamic pieces with more figures. So 3 or more figures on a piece is likely to be worth a little bit more. A lot of the pieces are not worth very much. Cufflinks and tie pins. Those were great. Kind of tucked away on a high shelf. When you're shopping, remember to look high and low, very low, even if you have to maybe bend over and get down there on your knees to look through something. And end caps and odd angles. Look for those areas that other people might not be seeing, because you could miss something very valuable. And also, when you walk in, turn left. Most people turn right, turn left. You're more likely to find things that others might have ignored while they were patronizing a location. Just when you're collecting and you want to find great stuff that someone else might have missed, or possibly you're a reseller, same idea. Look everywhere. Remember to look at the walls. Don't miss the art. Hope this helps everyone. Just a fun little antique mall shopping excursion, hopefully with a lot of good information in there for you. If you can, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us. It helps the algorithm, and then we make more videos and get more views. And obviously, that's the best thing you could do to support us. Thank you. Cheers.